Hi, my name is Paul Jensen. I'm a wireline tech here at Brace Tool. Today we're going to be building a 187 sliding sleeve for a customer. We're going to start by making sure that the insides of our top and bottom subs are well lubricated so that when we function test these later on we don't run into any issues. This one's complete. I recommend both a grease and a WD-40 just to help with the movement of your tool. That way the shifting process in your function test and in the pressure test go smoothly. We've used our grease, now we're going to move on to our WD-40. Make sure that that's well lubricated, and now we're going to install our inner sleeve into our bottom sub. For this we use a rubber mallet, tap on the top. You'll hear it click into place and it should rotate freely. That's when you know this is installed, and we'll move on to our next step. For our next step, we're going to install our Teflon wiper into our connector stub here. There's a recess that you can see when you're using it. This part we're also going to make sure that it's well lubricated. Now that's inside, we're going to move on to our next step of installing our packing. We have a full packing stack here, 3 backup rings, 6 pieces of packing. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that's also well lubricated. Completely around the outside and inside of the packing stack, and then we're going to go ahead and use WD-40 on our inner sleeve here to ensure proper application. We'll simply slide the stack on. We're putting packing on a 187 sliding sleeve here for a customer. This is our NXD version. Brace Tool supplies a variety of versions of our sliding sleeves from non-elastomeric and elastomeric. We have configurations down and up to open, as well as a variety of sizes. We're just gonna hit our packing with our ring gently so we don't damage the packing, to ensure that we can move on to the next portion of our assembly, which is putting on our connector sub. We're going to make sure that this is also well lubricated. Key thing when you're assembling these is as we installed our wiper previously, we want to always make sure that our wiper is facing the collet at all times. Brace Tool stamping is always going to be facing our collet, and that's a key point for our assembly. We have our packing stack on. Now we're going to gently slide over our connector sub. We're going to thread that down until it stops us. We're going to go ahead and apply our second stack of packing now that our ported connector and connector sub have been stopped. Make sure it's greased on the inside and out. We'll also lubricate the inner sleeve again as well to ensure that it goes smoothly. The customer that purchased these sliding sleeves purchased them in L80 material. We offer these sliding sleeves in a variety of material and also thread types. This customer went ahead and purchased 3 different types of thread types. We offer a variety of materials and thread types to fit any application that you need to make happen. Now that our packing stack is on, we're going to go ahead, slide this over and thread on our next sub. We simply slide this on top until it meets the threads, and we'll thread this on until it stops us. We're going to need to go ahead and take this over to our Baker C vise in order to ensure that it's properly tightened prior to function test. Now that we're over at the Baker C vise here, we're going to go ahead and tighten this tool, prep it for function testing and pressure testing. We're simply just going to tighten that until it's completely closed. Now we're going to finish tightening up the sliding sleeve here. Once we get to the end, we're just going to apply a little bit more pressure. Now the sliding sleeve is ready for function test and pressure test at the pressure testing station. Beyond the assembly, we advise that all PPE is used to ensure safety through the rest of the process. What we're looking for in this function test is that our inner sleeve opens and closes. This will ensure that during field use, the proper parts function correctly. We're going to go ahead and put this into the pin end of our tool here. This is where it's going to get a little loud, and we're just going to jar on this inner sleeve. We're going to go ahead and close this now. You'll know it's closed when the keys on the shifting tool that's required for your size sleeve have released, and you can pull your shifting tool out with these. That's completed the function test. Now we'll move on to drift to ensure the profile is correct. Then this will move on to our pressure testing section. Now that the sliding sleeve is assembled and function tested, we're going to drift the top and bottom before it goes to pressure testing. We have two drifts here, a no-go and a go drift. We're just going to make sure that the no-go doesn't go and the go goes. Drifts work on the bottom, now we're going to do it on the top. The drifting is complete, and now these can make their way to the pressure testing station. The sliding sleeve has come back from a successful pressure test. We've went ahead and wrapped the ports to ensure it safety through transport. We're now going to go ahead and stamp the assigned serial number on it. Serial number has been stamped. We'll put the thread protectors on, and this is ready for packaging. Thank you for watching.